Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. We're here in strange circumstances today. Obviously, coronavirus has forced us into this, but we record on Skype anyway. We were ahead of the game. We've been recording on Skype for ages. But yeah, I'm here, joined by Ben Crawford. Absolute pleasure. How's it going, Ben? How's coronavirus treating you? Or quarantine?
Not too bad, mate. The quarantine's a really strange kind of experience for the first time. I'm actually enjoying going out and having a walk, which is really weird. Obviously, keeping that in mind, and plenty of footy manager to be getting on with. Hopefully, we'll get through these next 3 weeks and get back to normal. Is all I can say. And then after then, we start worrying about what happens with Everton.
For the YouTube viewers, we've got Mason Holgate, future Everton captain. Obviously, 23 years old. He's been around a couple of seasons now. He didn't make the best start to his Everton career. I think he didn't look the best alongside Ashley Williams. Obviously, we were a bit shaky under the Koeman era, but he signed from Barnsley for a nominal fee, and he's really kind of come into his own this season, especially. And he looked really comfortable on the ball. He's starting to show leadership qualities, but Ben, do you think he's showing enough leadership qualities to be a future Everton captain?
I think it's difficult at this stage because, like I say, this time 12 months ago we were sat here probably not sure if we'd be able to even get a transfer fee and sell him on, really, because his future certainly didn't look to lie at Everton Football Club while Silva was in charge. Ancelotti's sort of kept more faith in him, even more so than Silva did towards the end of his reign. And although you can see green shoots of a kind of a leader and someone who can galvanise the rest of the players, I think it's a little bit too early because really it's a bit like Calvert-Lewin at the other end of the pitch. He's got to show that consistency. It's no good him coming in having a good 6 or 7 months in the team and then getting given the armband, because we look that kind of thing happened to Tom Davies and look what it did to him. So he's got to earn that right, and that is for me at least another full season being first choice, which if we get a central defender in the summer is going to be a challenge, compete between him and Yerry. I actually think he'd probably just edge that at the moment. But in terms of captain material, if we need a new captain through necessity, if Coleman moves on or if we decide to change it up, then yeah, he's got to be in the conversation. But I just don't want to put too much pressure on him too soon because, yeah, although he's shown the quality, he needs to show that consistently over a longer period of time than what's just been this season.
Yeah, obviously just signed his new 4-year deal as well. Yeah, you wouldn't want to put that pressure on him already. He's only just started showing his best form, so you wouldn't want to rush that on him. I do think, though, his character's a little bit different to Tom Davies in the way that he is kind of, I want to say more mature. Not that Tom Davies isn't mature, but in the way that he could lead the team, whereas Tom Davies, I don't think really, as much as I love him, I think Holgate is more of a leader, potentially in the future. But yeah, he signed that 4-year contract. I was a little bit suspicious. Obviously, I think Rio Ferdinand was present at the time that he signed the contract, and I was thinking,
yeah, his agent or something.
Yeah. Is that going to be something for the future? So, like, we're discussing him as a future Everton captain, but do you think he could move on in the future? Do you think he's going to be an Everton player long enough to be the captain, or do you think he's using us as a stepping stone in his career?
I think if he was used as a stepping stone, I don't think he'd sign a new contract. There were all kinds of rumours coming in for clubs like Manchester City looking at him in the summer, but why would you sign a new 4-year, 5-year contract and inflate the price when he didn't have to? At the end of the day, as much as we like, Mason Holgate, and as much as we'd like him to love us as well, that lad's got no loyalty to Everton. He shouldn't do, because at the end of the day, like I say, 12 months ago, he was shipped out on loan playing right wing back at West Brom. So, it works both ways. We haven't exactly stuck by him through thick and thin, through injuries or whatever, so he owes us something. He doesn't. So I think it's more a case of a professional decision he's made based on the fact that he'd be working with one of the best managers in the world. Obviously, he could go on to another team in the future, of course he could, but you've got to worry about that when it happens. There's no point not giving somebody the armband in case they leave, because one captain leaves, it's the opportunity for the next batch of leaders to come through the squad. And I think that's definitely got to be considered. I don't think he'd sign a new contract if he was ready to move on as quickly as he's suggesting there. But of course, we never ever want to consider Everton Football Club as a stepping stone. But every single club's a stepping stone. People like Paul Pogba want to leave Man United. Philip Coutinho did leave Liverpool. Players want to leave Manchester City. There's no such thing unless you're Barcelona or Real Madrid that you're not a stepping stone. Basically, Eden Hazard's another example from Chelsea. So, you've got to think of it as he wouldn't, if he'd signed that new contract, he's obviously planning for the media term at least. And of course, you can look at him as captain in that sense. But I've just got to sort of reiterate that although he's shown such flashes of quality and such maturity for a young defender with limited experience in this league, he's got to do it consistently. We're looking at everything through rose-tinted glasses at the moment because Ancelotti's in here, the field-goal factor's back, but a few more performances like the Chelsea and Arsenal away games in the past few weeks before the coronavirus hit, it's more games like that, and you're going to be sort of asking more questions about defence. So he's got to stick in there, keep his form going, and ultimately time will tell if he's got those credentials to be a captain, and just at this point, even to be a regular at the heart of Everton's defence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a bit mad that we're even discussing him as a potential captain, considering last season he wasn't really getting in there. We had obviously Kurt Zouma on loan, and he was forming a good partnership with Michael Keane, and they were the solid centre backs. And then Yerry Mina was coming in behind. It wasn't Mason Holgate was maybe fourth choice. So to discuss him, he's probably our first choice centre back now.
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, to discuss him as captain seems to be a little bit I don't know, premature maybe because he's still 23 years old. Like, is that too young to be a captain? Do you think we should leave him a few more years before making someone a captain? And maybe I see as a captain and someone being like late 20s, 30s, a senior figure, like maybe like we bought Delph for. Do you reckon we need a senior captain rather than a young player, or do you think making a young player the captain would kind of clarify our stance that we're looking for the future?
Well, I mean, I'd have to ask the question, how old was John Terry when he got the Chelsea armband? How old was Steven Gerrard when he got the Liverpool armband? I think they were about 23, 24. I don't think age matters. If you've got it, you've got it. And it's important for Everton to make that decision, not based on seniority or meritocracy, because you look at Fabian Delph, who I'm not going to go into too much because I'm really not a fan of the way he's conducted himself at all. Since he's been at the club, I've been really disappointed, to be honest. So, for me to think back to someone people thought he was a potential captain, the way he's behaved is laughable. So I definitely would rather see someone who was younger, who actually cared and actually presented himself in the correct fashion, than just giving it to someone with experience. We had a good captain previous to this whole sort of regime in Phil Neville, and he wasn't the best footballer, but he was a good captain. Now, he wasn't put as captain, I think, because he was late 20s. I think that's because he come from a club with a winning mentality and he had that influence on and off the pitch. So you've got to consider that above all else. Age, it doesn't really matter, because if you're old enough, you're good enough to lead the team, and that's sort of the attributes it's got to be based on rather than just what the date of birth is.
Yeah, definitely. I agree, that's true. As well, there may be other players in the team who are worthy of the armband. Obviously, we've got Seamus Coleman as the captain at the moment. He's still, what is he, 32? I think he's not old.
I don't even think he's 32 yet. I think he's about 31.
Yeah,
but he seems a bit old because of the injury, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of changed his playing style a little bit, unfortunately. But obviously, he could be around for a good few years. Obviously, modern fullback demands are quite different now, but he could be around for another couple of years. If you've got him still there, obviously Leighton Baines was, I think, a second captain under Marco Silva. He might stay one more year, but on the fringes again. Do you think there's anyone else in that Everton squad who's got a better claim to be captain ahead of Mason Holgate? Anyone in that squad at the moment?
Well, speaking as obviously a very experienced footy manager, I like my captains to be on the pitch every game. I don't see the point in having someone like a Seamus Coleman or a Leighton Baines who isn't, for me, going to play every game next season. I want my captain to be the first name in the team sheet. So they've got to be a good player as well as either. I've heard people mention the likes of Yerry Mina, but he's in a very similar to Holgate. He's not established in this team. We might think he is because of limited options. But if rumours are to be believed and we get this Gabriel from Lille, I think it is, he probably goes in as the left side centre-back. It's between him and Holgate fighting out for the shirt alongside him. So neither of them have shown any longevity or any guarantees that they're going to be first choice. So the only one really I can think that is is Jordan Pickford. But again, I don't really like having my goalkeeper. I like to have someone on the pitch. But that's just personal preference. But he seems like he's got a bit of an attitude and personality about him if he can cut out the mistakes he's making. Other than that, you're picking slim throughout the team. Andre Gomez seems too quiet, even though he's, we don't know anything about Gabaman yet. He's got to get his fitness first before we consider anything like that. But Richarlison seems to lead by example, but I don't think he's old enough or mature enough yet to galvanise an entire squad or team. So really, Calvert-Lewin's leading the line up top, so he's not getting involved. It's very difficult to look at anyone in that side, really, and see leadership potential. So I think that out of necessity is why the likes of Holgate may have been courted as a sort of replacement captain if need be, because they're the only kind of inkling we can get from anyone. The one player I would have said 12 months ago would have been ideal for next captain is Luca Dean. But for me, it's this season, well, the second half of the season especially, has not gone the way I wanted it to with him. He's had a lot of injuries, a lot of disruption, and a lot of poor performances. If he'd have matched the heights from last season, he's someone I could see being lead. I know he's captained the team once or twice before. I think he actually took the armband in one of the derby matches in the season for the last 20 minutes or so. So he would have been probably the name nearest to the top of the list for me if he can rekindle the form of last season.
Yeah. There's a few possibles in there. There's not really like a standout option at the moment, is there?
I think we need to buy one. I think we need to buy a captain.
That's exactly what I was just going to ask you. I remember obviously we met through the View from the Gladys Street podcast. I remember being on there with Mark Crotty. I don't know if you know Mark. I was on a while ago with Mark, and he was adamant that we had to buy in a captain. This was before Delph. I don't think Delph was the answer. But yeah, do you think if we'll have to buy in a captain, and if so, what position would we buy him in? Would it be a centre back? Would it be maybe Gabriel?
I'll tell you one player who is captain of their club currently, and we have been linked with, is Pierre Højbjerg, who plays at Southampton. Now, I personally have sort of been banging the drum for a long time for his teammate, James Ward-Prowse, to become an Everton target, as you guys know. But Højbjerg's an interesting one as well. He's come from a decent background and a decent pedigree in Europe. He's a tough tackling central midfielder. I think central midfield or central defence is where you kind of want your captain to be. So that would kind of make sense. But you've got to also consider the other attributes of the player. There's no point putting a player who won't fit the system, won't fit the style of play in the middle of the pitch. I know we've been linked with Napoli's midfielder Alan. Is it Alan? Who played under Ancelotti earlier this season. He's a fantastic player. He could potentially be that kind of tough tackling leader in the middle as well. But the language barrier, again, could be an issue. I know Højbjerg doesn't have that barrier. So if you're going to look at kind of players who are captain of other teams and are doing a good job doing so, to be looking at in the transfer window, especially when we need a central midfielder, it has to be said, perhaps he could be one of the options. You could reinstate him straight away as the captain.
That's a good idea. And if you do have any other good ideas, the viewers as well, please let us know in the comments. Because there's no real, as we've said, there's no real bang on option at the moment, apart from Seamus Coleman, who's got the armband at the moment. There's no real bang on option. So please let us know your suggestions in the comments, because we'll be very grateful for any other suggestions. And as always, like the video and subscribe to Toffee Blues. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Ben for joining us. You can find our social media tags under our pictures, so give us a follow on Twitter as well. So thanks a lot, and join us next time on the Toffee Blues.